All right, guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of All About Life. In today's segment, we're going to talk about signs when a woman is going to flake on you on a date. The dating game can be rough, guys, all right? For men and women, both parties can flake on one another. You know, there are plenty of times where you'll see, whether it's a man or a woman, they're getting ready for their date, they're communicating with that other individual, and then boom, that person unmatches, they block them, they disappear and ghost. And it's like, well, damn, that person, the one who was ready to go on the date, they got ready, they might have already been on their way. And in some cases, they're already at the location of the date. That sucks. But unfortunately, people don't owe you anything. And that includes even being courteous or kind. There are people that will set up a date with you and will even pretend to be on their way to meet up with you just to see you waste your time, and they'll get a kick out of it. That's not the norm. So I don't want anyone to think that it's going to be extremely common for it to happen, but it does. And when it does, just know that it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of their character. Whether they're just playing games, they just want to see other people miserable, they just want attention, whatever they may be seeking, it had nothing to do with you. You were just a person that crossed paths on their way, and they decided, fuck it, let me mess with this individual. Like I said, this happens to men and women, but now we're gonna dive in to the actual situations you can expect to occur and signs that you need to look out for. 1, when the person has little to no communication with you, okay? So on most dating apps, when you meet, you can see the energy, you can see the messages exchanged, you can see the communication. If you notice that the individual is sending you one-word responses or very short sentences, and they don't really seem to engage, so if you ask them questions, they're very standoffish, like they'll just give you a, okay, oh yeah, those type of responses, those are clear signals of someone who is just not feeling you, which is why they're displaying low communication. They might be bored, they might be just trying to play around with you. Avoid it. The best way to get out of that situation so that you don't waste your own time is do what I do. I'll say, hey, I need more energy out of you. If you're only going to send me one word or short sentences, this won't work out. And I guarantee you, if they have no interest in you, majority of the time, they will just block you or unmatch. Because people do not like being told what to do, especially when it's by someone they're not interested in, okay? It's like, who does he or who does she think they are? I'm not even attracted to them. And it's gonna naturally occur, meaning that they don't have to think about their attraction. They're just gonna be off-put by you even telling them that they have to step up their communication, right? Because you're now telling them what to do. And if they're not into you, or if they did it by accident, they would say, oh, I'm sorry, I was just caught up, and then they would start actually communicating. But if they don't, cut them off. 2, while you're talking with them, whether it's a phone call, text messages, online messages, whatever kind of communication you're using, if you notice that they're not asking you questions to figure out what you're all about, showing interest in you, like asking you, what are your hobbies? Oh, what do you like to do? Engaging in the conversation. So when you ask them a question, you guys are going back and forth in conversation. All right. Now, I don't recommend that through text, right? My text game, I think I've showed you guys on this channel plenty of times. It's very direct, concise, and straight to the point because I'm not going to waste my time talking with you. However, you have to also understand that when you do have those short moments of conversation before meeting up with the person, if they're not engaging, that's a red flag, right? That means that the interest is just not there. And if the interest is not there, you can bet that the percentage of you getting flaked on is high. And you want to avoid that. And the best way to avoid that is making sure that when they are communicating, they are actually putting in effort into that conversation. Whether, again, it's through text, phone call, FaceTime, whatever method you use before the actual date. 3, and probably the most important one out of all of them. When it's the day of the date, let's say a couple days ago, you set up the date, like I've told you guys plenty of times before, you don't want to drag out any type of interaction with any person on any dating app or however you met them. Get straight to the point. So if you're gonna want to see a person, if you have interest in another woman as a guy or vice versa, your point is you want to make sure that you are setting up the date as soon as possible. So if 2 days ago you set up the date and today is the day for you guys to meet up, and you notice that the individual never hit you up, never said, hey, see you later, or hey, good morning, can't wait to see you, whatever response. Because with women, and I'll tell you from personal experience, women will always hit you up and confirm and figure out what the plan is and make sure that you guys are still meeting up if they are interested on showing up to that date. Meaning that you don't even have to worry about the date, because if the person is not contacting you and you notice like, hey, it's already an hour before the date and no word, and they're waiting for you to hit them up, and you were the one who already set up the date, because as a man, I always tell you guys, set up the date. Don't allow the woman to do it, you do it. So now it's up to her to check in with you to make sure everything's good to go. But in a lot of cases, you'll find out that that woman that you already set up the date with, if she's not trying to check in and figure out if you guys are still going on the date, she was never interested in to begin with, or she got caught up with something. But nonetheless, it's not your business or it's not your responsibility to figure out why. It's up to her to deliver on her end of the bargain, which is to show up and make sure that she's accountable for the time that you guys agreed on. But like I said, you'll notice that that won't happen if the person is just not feeling you. So these are 3 ways to figure out if that person is going to flake on you, okay? If you have any other questions, leave it in the comment section below. Getting flaked on sucks, especially when you actually are communicating with the person and they lead you on. It's happened to me, all right? Fun little short story before we end this video. You know, not too long ago, I had an individual that we set up a date. You know, she started giving me one-word answers. And then when I told her, hey, you got to give me more, she then gave me more. But it almost seemed like she was playing the game. Meaning like, oh, she was like, oh, all right, well, I wanted to waste this guy's time. But, oh, he wants me to put more effort to waste this time? I bet. And that's how the conversation went through. You know, she started giving me more stuff, asked me questions, and said, can't wait to see you. Acted all interested, even though in the beginning, the first few couple of messages, they were dry as fuck, which that was the red flag to begin with. Then she started giving me all this meat with all these sentences, but that was just to lure me in so that I would actually meet up with her, okay? And sure enough, I did fall for the bait, but it was under my terms. And so what I did was I was like, hey, love, meet me at this area. I gave her the address. She challenged it. And I was like, no, love, we're going to meet here and it'll be my treat. I'll treat you out to some Starbucks or whatever. But I didn't tell her that. I just told her it would be my treat. So it was up to me to use my discretion. If she shows up on time, she shows up enthusiastic, I might just buy her a cup of coffee or a little drink here or there, you know. But again, you're not entitled. You as a man, you're not entitled to that woman's body. And her as a woman, she's not entitled to your pockets. I always use those examples because typically that's what happens. When you go on a date, a lot of women expect you to pay. And when you go on a date, a lot of men expect to get sex, all right? But no one's entitled to anybody. It's all free-flowing. It's all conditional. It's all up to the persons involved if they want to do something or if they don't, okay? But anyways, this girl, she then said okay. And I felt like she was reluctant because all she was going to do was run game by wasting my time. And so then I went to the gym that day. I remember I ran a few errands. I think I went to the post office. When I hit her up, it was already close to the time. She never hit me up, which is why I brought this as a red flag. And so then I hit her up and I said, are you on your way? I put like, are you on your way or are you showing up? I said something to that effect. And she said, I'm almost there, right? Mind you, it was like 30 minutes before the meetup. So I found that already skeptical, but I went about my business. Then I got a message saying, I'm here, where are you? And so then I said, okay, love, I'll be there shortly. And then I arrived about 5 to 7 minutes later because I was around the area anyways, and I didn't see nobody there at the venue. And I looked, I saw a couple people. Mind you, it's the first time meeting this individual, so you know, the way they look online versus how they may look in person might not correlate. But long story short, I looked around and sure enough, did not see the person in sight. And so then I said, where are you? And she said, where are you? And I was like, I'm here. So where are you? You know, I'm like, here, where are you? And then no writing right back. She was like quick to respond. Then she just stopped. 5 minutes later, I gave her a call on the app. She ignored it. She declined it after like a couple of rings. And then before I knew it, when I was getting ready to send her a message, it said some error. And when I backed out, she unmatched me. Okay? You see, this can happen to anyone. It can happen to you ladies, it can happen to you guys. But like I said, when you set the tone, when you let the person know, hey, you're meeting me here, as the man, you let them know this is the meetup spot. And you always make it a convenient place just in case they flake. So at least when I went there, I still got myself a drink, I still relaxed for a little while, and then I headed out, you know, and I really didn't waste my time. Now, I didn't have to go to Starbucks, but because I enjoy that area, which I'm already letting you know where I went, it was cool. It didn't matter because it was just not, I didn't have to worry about my time being wasted to the point where I traveled and then I went to a restaurant or I went somewhere out of my way and now the person just unmatches me or ghosts me or blocks me, whatever, you know? So guys, just take heed to the story because even though I did get finessed in the sense that I met up with someone that didn't meet up with me, it was on my terms, so I was able to not feel, for one, I didn't feel too bad. And the second thing is I really didn't waste much time because it was on the way of what I was already doing. All right. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you do leave a thumbs up to this video. We need that in order to continue growing. Like I said, if you have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comment section below. And as always, this channel is all about you. Catch you guys on the next video.